Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Kaiser, and I'm the middle school director here, and we are so excited that you are joining us today for our live stream. And this is your first time, I just want to say welcome. We are so excited that you're here. We hope you enjoyed the service today. We hope that you also hop into your Zoom small group at the end of this, and we have a special first-time Zoom group just for you, and that will be at the end of the stream with all the login information for that. And also, if you're a high school student, today at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the church, we're doing another high school hangout. You want to show up, bring a mask, bring a lawn chair, bring a friend, and you're going to have a great time. You're going to social distance. You're going to still be with your small group. You're going to hang out. It's going to be a blast. So 7 o'clock tonight at the church in the parking lot. Don't miss out. And again, middle schoolers, I'm planning something for you. Just hold tight. I have you something special that I will be announcing really soon. I promise you it's gonna be amazing. But also, guys, don't miss out on what we're doing on social media. Go ahead and give us a follow at InsideOutRVA and at JourneyTransit, guys. But hey, before we get any further, I want you guys to go ahead and check out this really fun video that we shot for 4th of July weekend called Blender of Doom. I'll see you guys later.
What's up, everybody? It's Grayson here, and today we are playing Blender of Doom. And today we've got Teresa with us, and here's how Blender of Doom works. We're gonna ask her 10 questions, and for every question that Teresa misses, one food item is going into the blender. And because it's 4th of July weekend, we figured, let's do some 4th of July trivia and some 4th of July cookout foods. Teresa, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so we're gonna jump in with question number 1. How many hot dogs are consumed each 4th of July? 50 million, 100 million, 150 million, or 200 million?
100 million.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Teresa, but that is incorrect, and you are getting a hot dog in the blender!
Oh, great!
Or 2 hot dogs. What year were fireworks first used in an official 4th of July celebration? Was it 1777, 1812, 1876, or 1922?
1876.
I'm so sorry, that's incorrect. It was 1777. It only took us 1 year to figure out that fireworks were awesome. And so for that, you're gonna get some fireworks,
great.
some bomb pops, add some red, white, and blue to this hot dog smoothie. It smells delicious.
Whew.
All right, question number 3. Teresa, who wrote the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner? Was it Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, or Francis Scott Key?
Francis Scott Key.
That is correct. You would have gotten some apple pie in there. Round out the palate with some more sweetness. All right, question number 4. On the original American flag, what shape were the 13 stars arranged in? Was it a square, a circle, a triangle, or a rhombus?
A circle.
That is also correct.
Yeah.
How many colonies were there originally? 10, 13, 15, or 22?
13.
That is also correct.
Thank you. I thought that was a trick one. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
How many people signed the Declaration of Independence? Was it 13, 22, 37, or 56?
22. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, that's wrong. So you'll get some barbecue sauce.
Great.
We got some Sweet Baby Ray's because we treat our people very well.
It's kind of pretty.
On what day did Congress vote for American independence? Was it July 1st, July 2nd, July 3rd, or July 4th?
July 2nd.
That is correct. No barbecue chips for you. We're good there. All right, question number 8. Who was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence? Was it Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock, John Adams, or Thomas Jefferson?
Go. Thomas Jefferson.
That is correct. No coleslaw. No coleslaw for you. All right, you got 2 more. You're almost there. Honestly, it could be much worse. Question number 9. Who declared the 13 colonies were no longer part of the British Empire? Was it the Independent Congress, the Constitutional Congress, the Continental Congress, or the Conventional Congress?
The Continental Congress.
That is correct.
Hey!
No potato
That was a
salad.
guess. That was a guess.
Lot of really official sounding groups there, but hey, no potato salad. That one would have been a little crazy. And this is the last question. Which U.S. president was born on the 4th of July? Was it Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Bill Clinton, or Calvin Coolidge?
Calvin Coolidge.
Holy cow. Did you know that one? That's correct. No root beer for you. All right, that's all 10 questions. And we got a nice little smoothie here. Let's get the lid on that thing and blend it up. If you in 30 seconds can name all 13 colonies, we will spare you.
Oh, no.
Do you want to at least give it a shot?
No.
You don't even want to try?
No, because I know I'm not going to get it, and then my ego's going to be bruised.
More than drinking that would?
Do I have to drink it all? No.
No, one solid gulp. Just like semi-chug. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to give the 13 colonies a shot?
I'll just take it.
All right.
Take my loss.
Get ready for this.
That was so gross.
Ugh. Her hand was shaking. You got one more sip in you?
Yeah.
One more sip. Ugh.
All right.
Hey, everyone, put in the comments how brave that you think Teresa is, because I think she's super courageous and super brave. And that's what we got for Blender. Oh my gosh, you don't have to. You can be done. No. All right.
I'm done.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. You are mean.
Guys, that was such a fun video. I wonder how many questions you guys would have gotten right. I'm so glad I didn't get to play that. But hey, next week, we're gonna bring back What's in the Box Part 2, so don't miss out on that. Everyone's been asking, what happened to Judson Lero? Why was he gagging? Well, guys, come back next week to find out what was in the box. But guys, today we are in week 3 of our series, What to Do When You Do Not Know What to Do. And today I am having Grayson, our high school director, join me for a conversation about what do you do when you don't know if something to do is right or wrong. Guys, I'm super excited for this, so check out this conversation.
So, when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No! You go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? They'll never know. But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have problems with family, or when it seems like you have no control in your life, or what to do when someone has done something to you. I mean, clearly, they gotta go. The truth is, there's a lot of life that doesn't have a solution you can just find online. So how do you know what to do when you don't know what to do?
What is going on, everyone? Kaiser here. I'm actually joined today with Grayson. How you doing, Grayson?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Guys, if you don't know, Grayson's our high school director here, and man, you do a great job, Grayson. And actually, today, is it at 7 o'clock? right? You guys are doing the high school hangout?
Yeah, high school hangout, 7 to 8. So if you're in high school, you better come and you better bring your mask, a chair, your friend, and guess what? We'll have some free hot dogs, so it's gonna be for real.
That's gonna be awesome. And hey, also, if you're a high schooler, just remember, no Zoom groups happening after the stream today. But Grayson, you're here because we're gonna be talking, kicking off week 3 of what to do when you don't know what to do. We've been going through this. We've had Matt Neely talk with us. We had a conversation with our student production guy, Joe Dillon, the other week, and you're here for week 3. And the big idea, what we're talking about today, is what to do when you don't know what to do when choices are in front of you and you're in situations where you don't know what is right. We call it what is right dilemma, the what is right dilemma. And so we've all been in situations where we are stuck in a position and we don't know what is the correct decision to make. We don't know which one's right, we don't know which one's wrong. And I just wanna ask you this. Has there ever been a situation in your life where you didn't know really what to do and the correct answer or the correct option to pick?
Yeah, so growing up, there's a guy, he was probably one of my best friends. We'll call him Frank.
Yeah.
And that means something bad happened when he can't use the real name. But yeah, so Frank and I, we met in like middle school, probably like 8th grade, and really became best friends in high school. He was my school friend and my church friend. So it was like, dude, we were always hanging, and it was super fun. We were always at each other's house on the weekend or hanging out with our friend group. Just all had the same interests. It was fun. He was my best friend. And fast forward to my senior year of high school. Now, normally when you're in your senior year of high school, all your friendships become just like way more sentimental because everyone is like, we're all moving away to college, it's so sad, and all that kind of stuff. But for me and Frank, it was like the opposite of that. So every time I spent time with him, it was really just not fun. Like, I felt like he was being super passive aggressive, and he was always like trying to get a rise out of me, you know, like trying to get me mad or something, I don't know. And it was really just not pleasant. Like I would spend time with him and I'd walk away feeling like that wasn't fun. And like, this is supposed to be fun, he's my best friend. And so, you know, eventually I got to this point where I didn't want to spend time with my best friend.
Yeah.
So I was faced with a situation where I didn't know what the best thing to do was. I didn't know, should I just like talk to him about this? Maybe he did something, or maybe I did something, I don't know, or maybe it's I'm just being sensitive and I just need to like toughen up and I'll then be able to enjoy the time I'm spending with him, or maybe just like get in a room, duke it out, fight about whatever we gotta fight about, and then move on from there. Or maybe this is the end of a friendship. And so I had all these options in front of me. And really, I didn't know which one of those things was gonna be the right thing to do. And it was hard because, you know, in the middle of that situation, and when you're in the middle of situations like that, sometimes the right thing isn't like obvious.
It isn't so simple.
Yeah, it's not simple.
You have a lot at stake, you have a lot put into it. And I'm sure if you telling me the story, I would have been like, oh dude, he's being a jerk, punch him in the face, right? Like that's the right thing to do. That's what, or some people will go, hey man, well, you may just need to talk to him. Like, he may be going through something, you can help out. Or other people will be like, hey, dude, the right thing, Grayson, would be just to give him some space. He's probably processing something. He doesn't know how to process what he's going through, so he's just lashing out. And but in the moment there, you just don't know what to do. And I wish there was like this magic button that we had that was like the right button. You know, we have the easy button, and then there's like the right, like we press the right button.
Like boop, give me the right answer.
Yeah, it's like
super helpful on tests.
Yeah, you know, like if we had that, like that would make everything so much easier. Because the issue is the right choice or the right answer sometimes isn't always obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't sure if it was a me issue or a he issue, right? So like, I didn't know if I had done something that had made him mad, and so then he wasn't like just wanting to spend time with me, or I didn't know if something had happened to him and he was like, kind of like what you just said, was just processing something and didn't really know, you know, how to get through it and stuff. And for you guys out there, you might have been in a situation similar to this. So you might understand that, but you look at my situation and you go, oh yeah, like what you said, oh, that's the right answer. I know exactly what you should do. But it's just a little bit more complicated than that, right? Because you got a lot of options and they all seem like they might work.
Yeah.
Or they might seem equally bad. And so, like, for example, maybe you studied really hard for a test, okay? And you show up and you're feeling super confident and you're like, I'm gonna knock this thing out. I'm gonna be the first person to turn it in, like, or the first person to flip the paper over. Like, boom, I'm a beast. Like, and then your buddy next to you is like, yo, move your elbow out of the way. Let me see those answers.
Can we just clarify something? Like, I was the second person. I was not like, I'm the first one done. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that was not me. I was smart, but I was not that smart.
But anyway.
Yeah. Were you that guy?
I don't know. I was a bad test taker, but in that situation, like, you find yourself at this spot where you're like, I don't know what to do. Should I let my friend cheat off me, even though that's probably not good?
Yeah.
Or should I do what could be considered the right thing and not let him cheat? And then my friend is mad at me, or I lose some, like, cred there. Or another situation, like, it's 2 a.m. and you're, like, texting this guy or this girl, but you're like, you're dating somebody. And it's like...
Hey, but you're not texting them. You're texting another person.
Yeah, a different person. And it's like, yo, I'm not really flirting with them. I mean, like, I'm not kissing them. I'm not holding their hand, so it's different.
And you can even be like, well, technically, we're not even talking. Like,
we're just texting.
But then comes the question, like, but it's also 2 a.m.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's like, dude, I'm not telling my girlfriend about this. Like, no chance I'm not telling my girlfriend about this. So, you know, like, you're in those situations, and it's like, where is the right thing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell. And, you know, for me in my situation with Frank, I realized that sometimes, like, you have to, you know, when you think about it, you actually find what the right thing is. And sometimes the right thing is going to cost you something.
Yeah.
And so for me, what I ended up doing is I decided I was just going to talk to him about it. And so sat down and I told him what I was feeling, you know, what his actions were making me feel. And have you ever talked to somebody in a situation where it's like you feel like this is really important and they don't think it's as important, and it's like they're just sitting there like that's kind of the feeling I got. And, you know, walked away from that conversation and nothing changed. And then for me, the hard decision that was the right one was for that friendship to end, because it was a situation where, you know, I was like kind of being mistreated. Yeah. So I had a natural cutoff point. We went to college. We both moved away, and, you know, I haven't really spoken since. And it's a sad story because he was one of my best friends, but it was the right thing to do because I had done my part, and it got to that point where I had to just cut off a toxic friendship. And, you know, sometimes what's right, even though it is right, it can be really complicated.
Yeah.
And it can actually be difficult to follow through with.
Yeah. I love what you said there at the end, that you know, we were talking about sometimes the right thing. You good there?
Yeah. Freaking out.
No, but guys, I hope you guys caught that. Grayson was saying that sometimes the right thing isn't always obvious. We were talking about that. But then you also said sometimes the right thing is also kind of complicated, which makes it not obvious.
Yeah, and it just like adds to the difficulty there too.
And then even the difficulty part can come in where we talked about, you know, sometimes choosing the right thing will cost you something.
Yeah.
So going back to our earlier examples, you know, if you do not let your friend cheat off your test, right? You're like, nah, man, you didn't study. That's gonna cost you socially. Like there's gonna
lose some cred.
They're gonna, you know, they're gonna lose some cred. or the girlfriend texting situation. You know, if you do the right thing, actually tell the other girl like, hey, I'm dating someone else. It's gonna cost you that texting relationship. Or you tell your girlfriend, hey, I'm kind of texting another girl. That's gonna cost you your relationship with your girlfriend, and then all of a sudden
get dumped.
You're lonely.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do. And even for you, man, it was like, hey, I'm gonna talk with this guy, and it's gonna cost you something. It was either gonna cost you some time, it was gonna cost you some emotional energy because you were probably gonna be upset, or it was gonna cost you a friendship.
Yeah.
But it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of this entire series, that whole situation, because there was a guy that we've been talking about, named Joseph, who was kind of put in the same situation where the choices he was put in, they weren't obvious, they weren't clear. Whatever choice he made was gonna cost him something.
Yeah.
But he still did the right thing. And so before we start talking about Joseph, I want to remind you guys where we are in the story. Joseph, we kicked off this a couple weeks ago, and he had some family issues He was his dad's favorite.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Family issues, yeah.
Yeah, I was putting it lightly. But his brothers hated him, like legitimately hated him. It wasn't like, oh, I dislike you. It was like they plotted to kill the guy.
Yeah, this was more than just like sibling rivalry. This was like literally, I want to kill this guy.
Like this was Captain America and Iron Man in Civil War. Like that's what they were going to kill each other. But no, they threw Joseph in a pit. And then they were like, actually, you know what? Let's not leave him there. Let's take him out and let's go sell him so we can make some money off of him into slavery. They took his coat, they threw blood on it, went to their dad and said, hey, man, your son, he's dead, dude. Like, he's gone. Sorry, you know? And then, and so we pick up the story now where Joseph was sold into to a guy in Egypt named Potiphar.
Yeah.
And what happened next, Grayson, from there?
Yeah, so basically Joseph's situation, you know, is getting better. All right, so we're actually gonna look at Genesis chapter 39. This is gonna tell us exactly what's going on in Joseph's life right now. So the Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. So pretty much, both Joseph and Potiphar's situation are getting better here because Joseph goes from being thrown in a hole and being absolutely betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery. And now he's in this position where because the Lord has blessed Joseph, he's actually running this house and he's like top dog, right? And then Potiphar's like in vacation mode. Literally all he's worried about is what am I gonna eat next? Like, oh my goodness.
That's great.
But I would give anything for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but there's also something we want to make sure we highlight, and we know that the relationship between Potiphar and Joseph.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't like buddy though. Right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Joseph is his slave.
Yeah.
But he's put Joseph in a position of authority, which is, if you are a slave, I guess that's the best position you could be in, right?
Yeah. So they weren't best friends, and he was helping run this. It was like Potiphar kind of owned Joseph.
Yeah.
And Joseph kind of had to do whatever Potiphar said.
Yeah.
Right?
And Joseph had done such a good job of trusting in God that God had turned that situation that could have been really bad. And now Joseph's in a spot where his master, Potiphar, trusts him with everything that Potiphar owns. And the problem is, you know, this situation for Joseph was about to take a big turn. Things were, you know, things weren't bad, but they were about to be. So let's continue looking. So it says, continuing in Genesis, now Joseph was well-built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, come to bed with me.
So this tells us two things. One, Joseph was a pretty good-looking guy.
Oh yeah, he had a six-pack.
Like you're confident he had one.
Oh, he had a six-pack, and he also had that thing where, like, you know when dudes can like do the super dreamy, like whoosh, and like their hair rests perfectly?
Kind of like yours.
Not like mine, but also I'm convinced of this. Like Joseph, it's his day off. He goes to the beach. Like there's music playing around Joseph, but like just because he's that good looking, like that's Joseph.
Yeah,
he's a good looking guy.
So he's good looking, and the second thing is, I'm sure everyone noticed, but especially Potiphar's wife, his boss's wife, noticed him, and she was like, "Hey, come be with me."
Yeah. Now this right here is where things get complicated, right? Because Joseph was a servant to Potiphar, but that doesn't mean he's just a servant to Potiphar. He's also to Potiphar's wife. So he has to do what they say.
So anything she says, it's like Potiphar saying it.
Exactly. But also, Joseph is a servant to the Lord. And he's put in this situation that is extremely confusing and complicated because Potiphar's wife is asking Joseph to do something That's a betrayal of Potiphar and a betrayal of God. And so Joseph is also in this situation where he does not want to do that. And if he decides to do what would be maybe the right thing, he's betraying, he's disobeying what his boss, his wife is telling him. And in that situation, he could lose his job. He could be thrown in prison. He could even be killed over this. So this is not like just some small thing. Both of these options come with big problems.
So kind of like we were talking about earlier, Joseph was presented with something that was really complicated. The right answer wasn't so simple, wasn't so clear, it wasn't obvious, and no matter what he chose, it was gonna cost him something.
Yeah.
So what did he do next?
All right, let's look, because it actually tells us. So it says, but he refused. With me in charge, he told her, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this household than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you're his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. So basically, out of respect for Potiphar and out of even bigger respect for God, Joseph just did what the next right thing was. And that was Joseph was making a decision not based on, how is this going to benefit me? He just made the next right decision, knowing it might cost him something.
Wow. So it definitely was complicated.
Yeah.
It was challenging, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It definitely was the right thing to do because Joseph kind of took inventory of everything. He looked around and said, okay, what do I do? This is who I am, and then this is what I'm being asked. Does that line up?
Yeah.
And it didn't. And he actually made the decision to do the right thing by God.
Yeah. And it's not like making that right choice made everything in his life perfect. I think a lot of times we think, if I just make the right decision, everything's gonna go good for me. And in fact, for Joseph, things got much worse. So Potiphar's wife actually made some accusations against Joseph. And when Potiphar heard of this, of course, he's gonna believe his wife. And so then Joseph was removed from his position and thrown into prison. And see, in Joseph's situation, making the right decision didn't mean his situation got better, but the right decision Joseph made was that no matter what happens here, I'm going to trust God with the outcome. And that's what Joseph did.
Yeah, he trusted God with the outcome. And the outcome for Joseph's situation wasn't great. He got thrown into jail. But there's a word that changes everything when it comes to the thinking, when we think of what's the right thing to do dilemma. And this is a word that I want us to talk about for a second. Because we see it in Joseph's life, and it's this word called integrity. Some people call it character. For the sake of our conversation, we're gonna call it integrity.
Yeah.
And so Grayson, Joseph was a man of integrity here. So what does integrity mean?
Yeah, I mean, integrity just means doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking, right?
Yeah.
And so, regardless of what the outcome is, regardless of who's around, you're gonna do the right thing. And that means you're a person of integrity. And so, like sometimes doing the right thing means you're gonna get an applause. People are gonna be cheering for you. And sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes doing the right thing is gonna cost you something, but other times it doesn't. And also, sometimes doing the right thing is gonna make you look good, and sometimes it's gonna make you look stupid.
Yeah.
And so, we don't get to make that decision on how things are going to turn out, but we do get to decide what kind of person we want to be, whether or not we want to be someone who has integrity or someone who doesn't have integrity.
That's good.
Someone who has more
That's
respect.
good.
And, when you're a person of integrity and you lead a life of integrity, you're going to have less regret, you're going to have more respect, and you're going to have a better idea of what to do the next time you're put in a situation that's confusing or complicated like these are.
Yeah. Dude, that's so great. We don't get to decide how things will turn out. We don't get to decide what the outcome will be, but we can choose what kind of person we can be in those situations. I love that because that's all what integrity means. But now let's get practical for a second here, okay? Like this sounds great, but actually in practicality, our situation, and I hope your situation is never like Joseph's. I hope that never happens to anybody. But in our life, there is going to be situations. There are things that are gonna happen that catch us off guard. They are going to put us in a position where we go, I don't know what to choose. Something's not clear, something's not obvious, something's gonna cost me. I don't know if I wanna pay that price.
Yeah.
So how can we live a life with integrity?
Man, I think about this. When you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. That's what Joseph did.
Yeah.
And sometimes doing the next right thing is scary. And you can find yourself in that moment where things are really scary and you think you know what you need to do, but it's like fear is holding you back.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you have to make a decision and you have to determine what kind of person you want to be. Do I want to be someone that lives with integrity or someone that doesn't have integrity? And, here's the deal. Most of us know what the right thing to do is in a situation. And if we don't, we can take some time and figure it out. But that fear is the thing, and the scary situation keeps us from making that decision because we have that fear that, man, I'm in this by myself. There's that lonely feeling in a tough situation because nobody else knows what this is like. This is my situation. No one could possibly know. And, that's one of the things that I love about Transit and Inside Out is we never get to say that because we have our small group, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the best ways to combat that fear or loneliness in a hard situation where you are a little confused is, telling somebody what your situation is. So I could tell you, Kaiser, what my situation was with my friend Frank, and you can help walk with me and make sure that I'm gonna make that right decision and hold me accountable. And that's really awesome.
Yeah. And you have that, the same thing. We all have the same thing. Because that sounds like a great conversation to have with a small group leader.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm having some problems with some friends and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know what to do. That's a great conversation to have with a small group leader.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you were saying. It's so great that we have small groups, that you have your tribe, you have your people that you can come together with and have that conversation and go, hey, I'm actually in a complicated situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to say is, hey, everyone, I'm in a complicated situation and I don't know what to do. Can we talk about it? And let me tell you what the best part is. Their small group's gonna say, absolutely, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out together because we're here for you and we care about you and we want you to thrive and live a life that God's called you to live, and your leader's gonna lean in and say, hey, let me help you with that, because that's who we are. That's who we are as Transit, and that's who we are as Inside Out. But as we're kind of wrapping up, there's something I wanna kind of challenge everyone with. Real quick, and that's this, guys, is if you are going through something, if you're in a complicated situation, I'm gonna encourage you to open up to your leader. Yeah. I'm gonna challenge you to text your leader, to send them a message, a DM, to say something in your Zoom call, to send them a private chat in the Zoom, whatever it is, but talk with your leader about whatever situation you're in, because here's the thing, you may not be in a situation right now, but you will.
You're gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, you will be. And what better person to talk to than your small group leader?
Yeah, and the thing is we're talking about Joseph, we're talking about me and my situation. When you're in your small group, you get the awesome opportunity to have a conversation that's directly related to your specific situation in your life. With this, our conversations is a good conversation, and for you guys though, but it's not your life. And in your small group, you get to not just talking, a similar situation to that is, you get to talk about your situation and work towards a goal and work towards the right decision with your small group leaders. And one of the coolest things is there actually are going to be people that will be praying for you. And one of the things that I don't think we should skip over is how important having people praying for you is, especially when you're in a hard situation where you may not know what to do. And the coolest thing about our small group leaders is, they love you and they're praying for you and all the things that you're going through and all those complicated situations. And and I just think that's so cool. And I really hope you guys listen to what Kaiser's challenging you with and, take that to heart and are bold enough to share some of that hard stuff.
Yeah. Guys, bottom line is you don't have to go through anything alone. You can tap into God's power. You can, through prayer, you can tap into your small group. And just remember, when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing, even if it's scary, even if it's hard, even if it may cost you something. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be worth it. Yeah. It's gonna be worth it. Grayson, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, I loved it, yeah.
Can we pray real quick before we head off to small groups? Do you wanna pray?
Sure, yeah. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for this conversation. I pray for our small groups today. I pray that students would talk about the hard situations that they're going through, the hard decisions that they're facing with their small groups and their small group leaders. God, I pray that what Kaiser and I talked about today would be helpful and be useful for our students, and that they would be able to move forward and know that even when it hurts, even when it's hard, that making the next right decision is the best way to honor you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me, Kaiser.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. See you guys later.